But it is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
To set
I don't believe that just one side lies, but I mean, I think you should have people on who can tell the story on the other side. But I don't have to book people just to fight. I hate that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped doing that. I mean, that was the old show, Politically Incorrect.
I love that show, though.
Was much more of a, well, people like fighting.
Well, it wasn't just because I thought, excuse me, I got more out of that show than most news shows on television back then.
Yeah.
But there were fights, but I thought they were organic. Cable news is not booking organic fights anymore, organic guests. They're booking people to come on and yell at each other because they're desperate for ratings. So
you think your old network does that?
I think they all. I don't want to specifically. I think they all do. I think not they all do. I think if
MSNBC doesn't, because you don't see people on there who disagree.
I see many of them do. Some of them do. Fox does it, I believe. They invite a Democrat on or someone left leaning just to yell at them, and
right.
I do.
Yeah.
I do see some cable shows doing that, which is, for me, at the end of the fight or the argument, I wonder, like, what did I get out of this? I usually don't get anything out of it. And I think people need to be informed more than ever now.
What happens when two media heavyweights clash over who's telling the truth? On Club Random, Bill Maher and Don Lemon went head-to-head in a fiery debate about the crumbling credibility of legacy media. Think CNN, MSNBC, The New York Times, The Washington Post. Maher didn't hold back, blasting these outlets for pandering to their audiences instead of reporting the unvarnished truth. They're not asking what's true, he argued. They're asking, what does our audience want to hear? Lemon, no stranger to the corporate media machine, pushed back. But even he had to admit the lines between fact and narrative are getting dangerously blurry. Buckle up. This isn't just a debate about the news, it's a reckoning with who we trust and why.
I know you think, like, broadcast TV is dead. I think I heard you say that.
No, I don't think broadcast TV is dead. I think it's on the decline. I don't think it has as much influence as it.
Did you say that when you used to be on it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was on broadcast TV for a while, but do you mean cable? You mean just in general?
Well, I mean, broadcast cable. I mean, most people have most people have CNN in their house. I mean, it's a pretty primitive TV setup you have if you don't have CNN. But like, let's say legacy media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, legacy media, the polling from people has it in the toilet. You know, it's down there with Congress, that they don't trust it.
I've been really surprised by, yes, you're right about that. They don't trust it because they don't trust the corporate influence, you know, and then look, in order to stay afloat, they need corporations to own them, right? But they just don't I think people believe, and rightfully so, that the corporation is influencing.
That's part of it, but well, it is.
But also, they're not holding people to account, and also that they're just not doing a very good job at some things.
You know why I don't trust it?
Why?
Because I never feel like I'm hearing the full story. I'm hearing narrative.
Yeah.
I'm hearing what whatever outlet I'm listening to, they are asking themselves first, not what's true. They're asking themselves, what does this audience want to hear? How does this audience want me to interpret this story?
Yeah.
And I'm going to give them that. So to get like a full story, I can never get it just from one source. And what I always try to do on Real Time is be that source, be that place where if you watch the full show, you get the full story. Now, of course, what people do in this media atmosphere that we're in is many people don't watch the full show. They see clips.
Bill Maher and Don Lemon didn't pull any punches when they tackled one of the biggest elephants in the room. Can we still trust legacy media? And honestly, the answer isn't pretty. They went straight for the jugular. CNN, MSNBC, The New York Times, The Washington Post, all the big names. Their main gripe? Anything loose, anti-system gender anti-cuts, honestly but tasting PE. These outlets aren't as focused on delivering truth as they are on delivering what their audience wants to hear. Think about that for a second. And Instead of giving us the raw, sometimes uncomfortable facts, they're filtering everything through a lens of how can we keep our viewers happy and coming back. Maher especially wasn't having it. He called out how corporate interests and ratings have turned journalism into a kind of feedback loop. Media gives people exactly what they expect, and in return, trust keeps eroding because people know they're only getting one side of the story.
You could carve up any one of my hour-long shows and just feed, and a lot of people only see it this way, just feed them the part that they either will make them love me or hate me.
Yeah, they can feed
to
something,
both sides.
Something that they think is right, they just feed it, and then something they think is left. Yeah, but that's always been the case, don't you think?
Not this bad. No, I don't.
You think this is worse now?
Oh, way worse. I think the New York Times, just to take the most prime example, because it is the paper of record, blah, 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 not to me anymore. I mean, it used to be, I feel, the editorial page was opinion, yes, but not the front page, and now every page. That's just a change they made. Now, part of that is because of Trump. It's very hard to be honest and true and not say he lied, basically. Newspapers never used to say the president lied, even though presidents have always lied. But they just went out and said, because you can't not, because he took it to such a different degree of lying that you just have to say, so that is true, he did lie. But or does lie about many things. We saw, I mean, there was lots of crazy stats in the speech he made last night.
The fake State of the Union?
Bill Maher and Don Lemon didn't hold back when they ripped into the state of modern cable news. Their big critique: it's all about the fight. Networks aren't booking guests to have meaningful, challenging conversations. They're booking people specifically to yell at each other because, let's be honest, fights get clicks and drama sells. Don Lemon made it clear, since leaving CNN, he no longer feels pressured to put election deniers or bad faith actors on his show just to create a viral moment. And honestly, that says a lot about how broken the system has become. But it gets worse. This leads straight into the next issue they unpack: media-driven polarization. In today's fragmented media world, what you see isn't the full picture. It's the highlight reel, carefully clipped to either fire you up or keep you loyal. Context? Gone. Nuance? Forget it. Hey. Instead, we're fed outrage in bite-sized chunks, fueling echo chambers where nobody's actually listening, just reacting. Maher and Lemon both recognize that this cycle of performative conflict and selective outrage is tearing apart any hope of honest debate. So the question is, can media ever get back to real conversations, or is the whole game rigged for ratings and division?
But you're talking about reasons that people vote for Donald Trump. I don't disagree with you, but some of those reasons are not based in reality, and they're irrational, and some of them are very rational.
Right.
So to vote for someone who you think is looking out for you is very rational, but it doesn't mean that you're voting for that person on the basis of something that is actually factual.
I mean, people are not rational at all about anything.
Yeah, so I don't disagree with you about why people are voting for Donald Trump.
I mean, do you think your life is rational?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't think my life is rational. But I think...
I'm curious about this.
I don't think that life is, in general, if you're just talking about life, I don't think
right.
I don't think that it's rational. I just think sometimes it's very random.
I couldn't agree with you more.
And you just sort of deal with the random nature of life the best way that you can, and you have to have a good attitude about it.
You walk around all day as if you're in control, and you're not.
You're not in control.
Isn't that right? You walk around all day as if you are, but the reality is you're really not. You're more of a jellyfish with the tide, and you go, and you handle the tide as best you can.
And it's best to sometimes it's best to just go with the tide.
Yes, or
sometimes take your hands off the wheel.
Right, or if someone steps on you, sting them. That's what I do. And hope you don't get washed up on shore.
I agree 100%. And that's the time that we're in right now.
What do you mean?
When you said someone steps on you, sting them.
Well, I'm a jellyfish.
Yeah, if you're a jellyfish, but I think there are too many people just sort of laying back and not stinging. Like the Democrats are not stinging.
No, they are definitely not. They're pathetic. That display last night at the speech, I don't know when we're dropping this, probably very soon, so it was probably last week, where I mean, they look like auction paddles with like signs like Musk lies.
Oh
And
my God, I did
like,
that on my show today.
ah,
So I said,
oh yeah,
this is what the Democrats were doing at the convention. And I wrote on a tablet and I said, Trump bad. I was like, Trump bad. And they were like,
yeah.
Trump bad. And I'm like, yes, Trump is bad. Musk mean. Musk, he's so mean. So it's like, but
And like,
if you're going to fight back, shouldn't you be stronger about
oh
fighting
my
back?
God, they're showing the country who are not savvy about issues why they voted for them. Because people are instinctive about politics. No, Donald Trump is not literally true with almost anything he says. We've litigated that. They don't care.
He's a liar. He lies a lot.
In their conversation, Don Lemon and Bill Maher hit the nail on the head. Trump's staying power isn't just about policy or party loyalty, it's about attitude. Trump's brazenness, his refusal to play by the traditional political rules, is exactly what makes him magnetic to so many voters. He doesn't apologize, he doesn't conform, and in a world where people feel politicians are all scripted and fake, that kind of raw, unfiltered confidence gets mistaken for strength. Maher also calls out something the Democrats don't want to hear. They're often seen as weak, scattered, and reactive. While Trump projects dominance and certainty, whether it's real or not, Democrats struggle to present a united front or fight fire with fire. And it contrasts. It sticks in voters' minds. Thanks so much for tuning in to break down this unfiltered, wild, and thought-provoking convo between Don Lemon and Bill Maher. If you enjoyed the analysis, caught something new, or just love diving into honest, real conversations about media, politics, and culture, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on future videos. Your support keeps this community growing, and these conversations going. See you in the next one. It's a day, and yet you did all. It's insane.